Africa, there is a country that lays claim to musical traditions that are just as old. A country that in recent years has suffered plagues and famines that are truly biblical. It's here we find one of the oldest established Christian churches in the world. This is Ethiopia. The Ethiopian year dates from our year 8, which was the year in which the emperor first heard of the birth of Jesus of Nazareth. Ethiopians believe that the first baptized Christian was an Ethiopian. It's not surprising, therefore, that nowhere in the world are the Psalms more important than they are in Ethiopia. The Ethiopians call the Psalms by an ancient Hebrew name, Mizmorat Dawit, the Psalms of David. Their traditional stringed instrument, the Bagina, they believe to be identical with the harp that David played.
The Ethiopians consider it as the harp of King David of Israel, and it is an instrument that is used for praying, for meditation, and for the praise of God.
Do you think of David as an Ethiopian?
Yes, well, since if we say that the origin of civilization is Ethiopia, we can say that David is also the descendant of Ethiopians.
Mm-hmm. So we come back to the beginning of everything right here.
Yes, of course.
Orthodox Christianity, as practiced by the Amhara, the ruling elite of the Ethiopian Empire, requires the Psalms to be read by the devout every day. The elders of the church believe that they are the custodians of the original and only authentic tradition.
We have forests. We have a forest, all of them. We are the origin of that. Because we created with Saint David the Psalms. Ethiopia at that time and Israel were the same people. For example, Solomon, he said himself, I am the black man. His song.
The Song of Solomon says, I am black but comely. Abba Tesfaye treats those words as if they're about Solomon himself. Solomon was the son of David. The mother of Christ, too, was of the house of David.
If Solomon, he was a brown black, also himself is David, is from the Ethiopians of that time. So we know, we accept the world.
Does that mean that Christ was black?
Solomon, Saint Mary is black woman. From the blacks comes the black.
Are you now the chosen people?
Yes, this is chosen people.
When do you think the suffering of Ethiopia will end? The hunger. First you had the plague with the cattle that killed all the cattle, and then you've had famine regularly. When will it be over?
When the people, they believe in one religions, because most of the people, they will leave their religion, they become Protestant, different kind of European religions. Because of this, God punish us.
So this God of the Psalms is a jealous God.
He's a jealous God because of this punish us.
For the psalmist, as for Abba Tesfaye, suffering is a proof that a people is indeed the chosen one. The authenticity of Ethiopian claims to be the originators of the Psalms can't be tested because the sacred writings are kept secret, even from the Ethiopian faithful. Outside Ethiopia, the accepted biblical tradition depends on copies of originals that were lost long ago. It's only in the last 50 years that truly ancient manuscripts containing fragments of the Psalms have come to light. In 1947, in the caves of Qumran near the Dead Sea, an Arab shepherd boy found scrolls that are nearly 2,000 years old.
The largest Psalm scroll dates from about the time of Christ, or slightly later, middle of the 1st century AD. Here we have the Psalm scroll from Cave 11 at Qumran, dating from about 50 AD, so that's about the time of St. Paul. You just see here Psalm 121 from it, but there are various other psalms as well. We see the beginning of the psalm here, the very famous words, a song of ascents or a song of the steps. I will lift up my eyes to the hills from whence cometh, in the middle of the word cometh, it breaks off. So it's cometh my help. They shed enormous light on one of the main sects of ancient Judaism. Most scholars would equate them with the Essenes, this group that lived by the Dead Sea in this incredibly barren area. They were, you might say, 1st century dropouts. They'd left the big bad world and went to cultivate their faith alone in the wilderness.
A sort of Jewish